We're talking Gen V episode 6 cooking lessons. Almost through the season, got a couple more episodes, but a lot going on in this episode. Obviously, our heroes break out of Elmira, get out of there as Luke comes in and busts them out, which I was looking forward to him showing up. We got a cameo from Stan Edgar, the man, the myth, the legend. Happy to see him back. And also, too, talks that Marie might just be able to challenge Homelander. Smart League Films going to like that video. Hit the sub button. Got my guy Scotty back in here to talk about this. Scotty, episode 6 opens up. We find out Annabeth's sister has powers, like we talked about the episode before, and she has precog powers, and that's actually how they end up escaping. Is that the powers you thought she was going to have, or you were like, might be something closer to Marie?
I thought it was going to be, excuse me, something closer to Marie, but I'm glad it's not. I think a precog works perfectly for her being able to help the team. They needed somebody to help this team because the rest of the team ain't shit. So she needs to guide this team.
Yeah, no, I mean, this team is they've done good and bad, but it's a collective of fun people who you're hoping they could get you right because it goes right or left. So they end up breaking out. Luke, as I said, he jumps back in, and I saw last episode. And we talked about it a little bit. I'm like, man, Luke's got to get back on his team. Like he's got to join back. I don't care what he's got going at home. Was that a great moment? Yes, it was. But he's got to get back and help out our heroes. Obviously, Annabeth senses that, and he jumps back in there and busts through the wall. They escape, throw their stuff, and find a secluded area until the Viking comes and finds them. Something I liked early in this episode is this dynamic between Marie and Annabeth. Obviously, we know Annabeth and obviously the family around her really blame Marie for killing her parents, which really wasn't her fault, but I'm glad we can address this because she kind of has never had the chance to really get over that. I feel like Pam, her aunt that Marie their aunt that Marie hung out with, they were able to talk about it, and Marie was able to express her emotions about it. But Annabeth, obviously, I think one of the cool things here is she's another one that's cursed by these powers too. She doesn't want to be a soup, and I think they addressed that early on. She doesn't want to be a soup, and her life just changed drastically. Now she's looped in with them. She can't just go back home and live a normal life because everybody wants Marie and access to her power. So she's pretty much stuck in this situation. But I thought that was a good opening to the episode, their dynamic and what's going on and how Annabeth's life just changed.
Yeah, I think that was the best part of the episode. Like, we've been waiting for her to find Annabeth for all these years. I thought they were going to find out Annabeth was dead or something until the last episode when we found out her aunt's been taking care of her. So I think finally, once we get rid of the unreasonable feelings that you're the reason why my life is crap. No, I mean, it wasn't her fault that she had V in her system, that your parents put it in her. I got tired of that. As soon as she said, "Oh, it's your fault," I said, "Man, if y'all don't shut that up," like that girl just exploded the bathroom by herself. No, they gave her the V to begin with. So I'm glad they were able to at least somewhat reconcile. You can't expect them to reconcile all the way because it's the first day, and the first day is Marie, which is cool as hell, bringing her back to life. Yeah. So I thought she'd be a little bit more grateful on the first meeting. She's like, "Nah, F you. Nah, I know what you did. Remember what you did that wasn't in your control? Nah, but I just saved your life." No, you didn't. I was like, come on.
Yeah. A little crazy in intro back to her, but I was going to touch on that next. Marie's powers to heal has just really changed the game here. Obviously, it's something we probably could have thought of as fans thinking about it. Yeah, if she can do this, this, and that, and she can probably, I don't know, bring somebody back to life, but definitely can heal people. Now, this brings up more questions. It's something I wanted to talk to you about. So she has the powers to heal and bring somebody back to life. I don't know what the limits exactly to this is, and it's early on. They just introduced that, but is it somebody who died recently? Is it anybody who's dead that she can start to recorp their body as long as they have some level of blood in there? Like, there's really no limits to what Marie can do, and I think we were guessing last episode what her limits would be, but I think this is cool, and obviously Jordan realizes that too. She says, or he says, everything's different now. If you're able to do this, you're not on the tier with us. You're on a tier with, I hate to say it, Homelander and the people who have more godlike powers. So, and we'll discuss that a little bit later. But that tier of ability, I don't know if they're gonna limit what Marie can do. Do you think they'll ever like put a cap on it? Or you think they're just gonna continue to be like, oh, she can do this, she can do that?
I think they'll put a cap on. I mean, she can obviously use blood as a weapon and shape it and stuff like that. She might be able to even use blood and levitate on blood, or do some Magneto, basically like Magneto with blood instead of
Yeah.
metal. What I'm interested in seeing though is I don't think the way it's going, I don't think Cipher is going to use her to develop her powers any further past this point. I think she's going to do the rest of it on her own, because obviously he's going to want her to revive the
The
not
body.
revive, but revitalize the burn dude.
Yeah.
I think she's going to have to learn the next step. And the next step I think is going to be is her being able to go in your blood and take the V out of your blood completely.
Yeah.
Do I think she's going to do that a lot? But I can see her doing it like 2 or 3 times. Maybe it takes a lot out of her. They got to give her some kind of drawback to using this kind of power. But I think it's going to go that far. I think it's going to go as far as, if I can concentrate and you can hold this person down and they stand still, I can just take the V out of their blood completely.
Yeah, and that could be something. I mean, we talk about Homelander. That could be something in a way that I don't know if Marie necessarily wants to kill people, but maybe that could be something as a way to defeat Homelander or other suits down the line, or
Mhm.
anybody who presents a danger. Because there's quite a few, I believe, that are up in that level. Maybe not to Homelander's level, but up in that level where they're not going to be able to beat them without pulling some kind of trigger, some kind of ability that they don't have just yet. So I like that theory. Obviously, we get back and we get a reemergence from the Viking, who finds them and tracks them down and had a fight. And we see Luke and him. Well, we see the group, but we see Luke and him fight. I talked to you about this before we recorded, and you brought up an interesting point, or you brought up some good points. I'd say I thought Luke would be a little bit further, just because we've talked about it before. We talked about how strong Golden Boy was, and Luke said it himself, no one can really kill him. He's too strong. Now, Golden Boy, he did train. I would assume, and you brought up maybe, maybe not. I would assume he was a little stronger than Jordan at that
Mhm.
time. He was just number one, and they did have to fight. So I don't know if necessarily those two fought, but they usually had fought to keep their ranking. So I would think it.
Mhm.
But Luke's also crazy. He's never really focused. He's never trained his ability. I thought he was a little more, but the Viking kind of manhandled him.
Yeah, it's just that Luke has had zero training, and not even forget training with his powers. He's had no training to how to fight at all. So he's in
Yeah,
there throwing left hook, right hook, one to the body, throwing wild punches, not really using his strength the way I think he could have been. He could have been throwing the Viking around if he wanted to. So he doesn't know how. He's made it clear that he doesn't really know how to fight. And then on the other hand, you have this Viking who's already durable, strong, and has a weapon, who's a lot older. He's probably about 20 years older than him, maybe 25.
yeah,
He's been a superhero. We can assume he's been a superhero since he was at God, if he went. And he's been training kids. So he's definitely been trained and trained himself. He probably trains himself weekly.
yeah.
So none of them are going to be a match for him at all. It's a good thing that the granddaughter showed up and helped, because Luke was going to be done
Yeah,
completely.
I think when we saw it, I don't know if Jordan and Marie could have beat him. I mean, the granddaughter kind of snuck up on him as well, as I'll jump into in a second. But I mean, I think it's safe to say Jordan among them outside of Marie is definitely better than Luke and better than any of them, and would have the best chance of surviving if she was to take on the Viking, as we saw in training that as well. And you hit to the next point right after that. Your boy Giancarlo Esposito, Stan Edgar
Mhm.
walks back into the series, which was a good refresher because I didn't know exactly where they were going to go, but I do like the addition of him because it gives the show a little more direction as we get to the close here. He walks back in with a granddaughter who, of course, kills the Viking. We know her powers. We've seen it before, which our powers are absolutely terrifying. Like, I'm like, bro, she couldn't get nothing better than this, because I thought Newman's powers are really cool. Her powers are
Yeah.
just straight up scary. Like, she never
Mhm.
gonna have a boyfriend. No one's making out with her. I don't care how old or how good she looks. That it's absolutely terrifying.
Mhm.
But they walk back in, and of course, like everybody else, their interest is Marie. They want to set up an alliance, and Stan Edgar says, "Hey, come with me. I can definitely help you and do that." Now, we'll hop into that in a minute because they talk a lot about what's going on with Marie and the experimentations that have gone on. On the other side, we have Cipher, who, of course, gets alerted that they've all escaped, and he's pissed. He goes to Polarity. It's something that I definitely want to touch on this episode. So he goes to Polarity. He uses him, obviously takes over Polarity's body to be able to lure the kids back in, and that's how he ends up sitting the Viking in the first place, able to do that. But him and Polarity actually had some interesting stuff to go in this episode. Now, Polarity, we know he bribed him by saying, hey, Marie can eventually help you. This is how Andre died with overstressing his powers. You're going through the same thing he was before he died. And that's my kind of ticket to get you to help me out. Obviously, Polarity is mad because he feels like Cipher resulted in the death of his son. But Polarity actually finds a way to fend off Cipher and actually finds control to hurt him. Now, one thing here. Let's go with that. I want to ask you about that first. First of all, Polarity being able to, I think he's going to be able to do a lot more in the last couple episodes of this show. But what do you think about him able to fight that control of Cipher? Because no one's been able to do that to this point.
I like that a lot. I mean, this is going to go into the finale of the show where he's probably going to be sacrificing himself to beat Cipher, or at least stop him from doing whatever he's going to be doing. I enjoyed that. I thought it was cool because obviously Cipher has a lot of control and he kind of controls and uses power effortlessly. Polarity takes a lot more to exert his powers or whatnot, and Polarity hit him with the nice sonic boom out the window.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Now Cipher did get back up. You heard the glass moving and he got up and shrugged it off or ran away or whatnot, but that was cool. That means he, at least maybe this will be a positive impact on his character, even though he's been laying around drinking because of his son. His powers don't work as well. Now that he knows, oh wait, I can still do something. So I think it's going to be a nice positive boost in that character's brain where he can say, okay, I'm up, I'm ready. Might even see him put on some tights, man, go in there and do so.
The super suit. Yeah, I thought that was a cool aspect to him because he's really not done much except kind of do some internal envy, a little detective work to get us to learn more about what's going on here. I thought it was cool. I think he's going to add a little more. Obviously, we've seen some stuff in the trailer that we haven't seen yet, but him exerting himself using his powers later. I really like that actor. I hope he doesn't die, but everybody has to get in the show eventually, or in the boys. Not everyone lasts.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah,
Sean Patrick Thomas got to go. He gone.
My question too is, I want to add this on. So he obviously hit Cipher with a boom, knocked him out the window. Cipher was able to get up. Now with this body, we feel like he's in that body at home. He's controlling this body through his powers. I feel like he has more than we've seen. So like, I feel like we know he has the mind control, but I feel like he's going to have some more elements to his fighting than just using that, or just having a body that's absolutely expendable. And especially if he can walk off this attack in that body, I don't feel like it's just because he's controlling that body. No matter how hurt it is, it'll get back. I feel like even in this body, he has more abilities. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I think especially if it is Godolkin himself, he may have been able to put V in his system to have more than one power. I'm sure. Especially if he's been around for 100 years or something, I'm sure he's experimented on all kind of people. Because if he is controlling this one guy, then maybe he's controlled multiple people in the past, and they've all been able to experiment on themselves, and he could see what's worked and what hasn't worked. That's what I'm thinking is happening.
Yeah, because at first I thought his fear with his body was just because it's another body. And if it dies, I can just go get another one in concept. But I also feel like this body he's walking around with no fear. And it could be because, hey, it's not only the fact that I have this control and I'm invulnerable, it's the fact that this body can do more than you think it can. And even you may be able to hurt it, but there's maybe more powers on the horizon that you just haven't seen yet, which I felt like we were guessing all of what he can do at the beginning when we didn't know he could do the mind control thing. So I think that will come up a little later, but that's definitely something I want to hold on to for later episodes. Another thing, so Stan Edgar gets them back. This episode is called Cooking Lessons because they were able to share dinner and try to go over the plans, and we learned quite a few things. So one thing that I want to touch on really quickly is one of my favorite parts of this episode, and it was from last season, was Emma and Luke's connection and kind of their relationship that we see later in this episode. That was one of my favorite parts of season one. And the actor for Luke, I forget his name. I'm not drawing blank for his name, but I think he as an actor hasn't been as good this season, and that character hasn't been good this season, because the best parts of what we got was those two together. And I felt that going back into this episode and them reconnecting. I don't know if you felt the same, but was that one of your more highlights of the episode?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know what? It wasn't. It was not one of my highlights. My biggest highlight was Stan Edgar coming there. He's smooth as a pillow, cool as a fan. No, you know what? Because I'm pretty much moved on from that relationship, just like maybe Emma has with the new guy who I still think is a snitch. You see Luke kind of get close to her and lean in a little bit. She's like, "Yeah, nah, I'm good. It's fine. We're fine."
I think we know they're gonna eventually rekindle and
Yeah,
probably
there's
get back
something
together.
there, and I think they are going to get eventually together. But as far as right now, like in season one, like you said, I did care about it because it seemed like she was the first person that he was able to let in and saw that cared about him. But in this season, I think there's a lot more going on than for her to be worried about him in that kind of way right now.
Yeah.
So I'd rather, as a viewer, like push that to the side at least right now, and I'd like to see him get her and him because at least Luke can use his powers. He just might not know how it all works.
Yeah.
Emma, on the other hand, is besides like getting other people like hyped up and besides being a decent friend, she's damn near useless as far
Useless.
as a fight goes. If the fight breaks out, she's all she can do is sit in the back and say, damn. So it'd be cool if at will, if she was like the Atom, like boom, small, boom, big.
Yeah, I think
And
that's where we're Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that's where we're going for later. I don't think they're going to leave her useless forever. And definitely, we've seen when she is able to use her powers, how effective it's be. Obviously, she broke Luke out. She controlled Luke in I think, episode 3 of last season, where she got big enough just to hold him down. So that will definitely come in handy later, which I think it will. Now, moving on to the big part of the episode, obviously, Stan Edgar runs us down the list of what's going on. We found out Marie, as part of the Odessa project, she was the second person to live outside of your boy Homelander, who we've known from the boys as the person no one can really touch. So that puts her on the level of Homelander as far as they call it a godlike ability for Soups. We also go to figure out that Cipher's plan, and I want to talk about these two things. Cipher's plan is he hates the state of Soups right now. When you ask what his plan was, his goal, and as he told Polarity, is to wipe out 75% of the existing Soups. So you talk about the girl who just has the tail, the guy who just can suck anything up through his butt, like all these people with useless powers that we're like, why is this even part of the show? Now it has a purpose. They've kind of set up so Cipher is like, why am I wasting time trying to help these? And this is why he got the class of just a few people. Why am I wasting time trying to train all these students, run as dean? Like, forget all that. Straight massacre, wipe all of them out, and just have only God or close to God level Soups. And that is actually part of his plan, as Thomas Godolkin's plan, who we also think is the guy in the tank. So I want you to know your thoughts of just kind of that summary set. Edgar kind of talked us through it. Let us know where Marie was, and Cipher finally revealed his plan.
I didn't expect that one. I expected it to be. I thought he was going to have something where he was going to kill majority of Soups and have something where his body, where he was going to be one of the number ones now. And when Marie eventually maybe brings that body back up to speed, that's what I thought. I did not expect him to say, "Let's just kill all the weaker Soups on some not on some Magneto stuff, but like some apocalypse stuff." I thought he was just going to want the Soups to flourish. He's like, "Nah, not really. Fuck them." So that brings me back to season, was it 3 of the boys? I think it was season 3 of the boys where they had a virus they were developing that could kill Soups. That's something like that maybe brought into play where it can just kill a whole bunch of low level Soups that don't have the durability or immune system for it, super immune system, whatever for it. So I can see that happening too. Maybe that's where that virus is going to come into play.
Yeah, possibly. Another thing too is Godolkin, and they talk about it in episode 2 of Stan Edgar reveals he holds the key to actually controlling Soups. And I think that is something that goes past just the mind control thing. I think that's something of he knows these abilities, and it could be insert show here. Like he has this list of experiments there. He can train somebody to be able to do different things, like control Soups, maybe control the ones that are obviously the V inside of them, and bend them to the mind control, or maybe in the mind control, but that person's control of them. It seems like he has this like dark, what was it in Naruto where they had like a forbidden scroll? Like he has like a forbidden scroll of techniques that
Forbidden Jutsu.
that he knows that like no one else knows, which makes him even more valuable. And that truly makes him a threat to Homelander. I don't know what you thought about the real of that, because I'm like, that's an interesting thing. And now I want to see what he can do with full capabilities.
Yeah, he's like Orochimaru from Naruto. All he needs is him and all his little puppets running around. So I think this next episode, especially now that we see, oh man, this is my least favorite character in the show, but now we see that Kate maybe getting her powers back. I got a theory. I think Kate's gonna get blown away. I think they're gonna finally kill her off. Thank God. But I think he is gonna find. I think what you're saying is, yeah. I just can't wait for them to bring that body back. So once they actually get that body back, and we get, if it is Godolkin, I think right away that plan's coming in. He's like, okay, I know how to neutralize this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Don't need the collars for everybody. We just know how to do it. And having somebody like Marie, let's say he can control Marie somehow along with this other guy he's controlling. Maybe they're like the catalyst where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna use them and their powers to control everybody. Maybe he'll do it like that. It's just so many ways he can do stuff to get rid of all these kids.
Yeah, kind of set a new world order as it seems. So I'm interested because that flips the whole thing. Even my Homelander is now under threat if he's able to just control different suits and or even has more techniques that even Stan Edgar doesn't even know about because Edgar's just a human. While Godolkin's been around, they say he's over 100 years old. So definitely some stuff he knows. That's pretty much what's going on in here. I'm interested to see how they close this out. Now, obviously, Marie decides like, hey, Edgar's propped me up. They don't need a team. I could do it myself, and Kate goes along with her. I don't hope Kate dies like you. I mean, somebody I felt bad for, been put in bad
She gotta
situations.
go.
So,
She gotta
but
go.
I
don't
need
feel
her to
bad
be
for
able
her.
to use her powers and be. They've made her a little bit annoying in this because she just can't use her powers. Like
Well,
I
you
want
can't.
her, if she's a part of the team, be an active part of the
But
team.
remember, wasn't she dating Golden Boy in the first
Yeah.
season and screwing around with his best friend?
I think she
And
dated Golden Boy for the status, and she actually liked Andre.
but I'm saying at the same time she was doing that, and she's the reason they got locked up in the first season, the end. So I don't, she can go. She can get out of
I,
here.
I think Kate is a character who wants to be in control, or she wants the things to go in a certain direction that may be for the betterment or not the betterment of everybody, but doesn't quite know how to
Yeah,
do it.
which
Like I
which
feel like
is
her heart's in the right place, but her mind doesn't have the capacity to get things to go as it does. Or she wants to be in control, but somebody's always like, you think you're in control, but like Cipher, like I'm actually in control here and you can't help anybody. And I think she hasn't realized yet that she can't do that. I think she's thinking about like, oh, Cypher's running this, but I can get everybody in safe. And it's like, no, everybody's not safe until Cypher's gone. Or I can do this and everybody's safe. Well, no, everybody's not safe until insert this leader here is gone. I just think she hasn't realized that yet. So hopefully she gets more useful as the season, but we will see. She might die in episode 7.
She got to go.
All right.
Immediately. Opening scene. Dead.
Okay,
Don't even explain to me how she died. Just show her on the ground.
No,
Gone.
we're not. No more dying. no more dying off screen. Please. I've seen enough of that in shows recently. Okay, that's everything for Gen V. A lot of theories. Obviously, we got her down the last few episodes, so we will review those. And really liking the series so far. Still a high price of admission. I'm really having fun. This episode was a little more building, but I think neither me or you minded that. I think
I like the sister bonding. I thought was actually it made the episode, so that's cool.
Yeah, and want to see more of that. Okay, everybody, like that video. Don't forget to hit that sub button. We got a lot of stuff coming on. This is the month of horror, so we've got some stuff stagnant coming out. So make sure to be look out for that because we got a lot of retro reviews. And me and Scotty and a special guest has a list coming over talking about OG movies versus remakes and comparing those to see which one is better. We just talked about that. But don't forget, go ahead and like that video, sub to Minor League Films here. Scotty, if they're not here on YouTube, where else can they find us at?
You can find us on TikTok at Kuronocomics, and the IG page will be up soon.
Yeah, we got a new one coming. Talking shorts, so be on the lookout for that because we've been cooking. We got some good stuff coming down the line. Okay, that's all I got. So don't forget, like that video. All the stuff will be in the bio, and look out for recent shows. We got a lot of stuff dropping for you. All that good stuff. Talk to you next episode of Gen V for this timeline, and we will catch you next time.